there is this particular solution that SoftTools has developed, which is called the Kaizen Toolkit. And it has helped a lot of large-scale organizations implement operational excellence processes. And it has been made tailor-fit to fit their processes. Can you tell us a bit more about that and the impact it has had? Can you show how that works?
Yeah, definitely. Look, why don't I just share my screen and we can have a look at the application itself.
Yes.
So this obviously isn't any client-specific solution. This is an off-the-shelf demo site which allows us to talk about the Kaizen solution. But this is a web-based digital platform. So this is running on the SoftTools platform with a number of configured applications. With any major initiative, it's not just about tracking the projects. If we have a look at the launchpad here and see the different types of application, to have a sustainable transformation program based around the principles of Kaizen, we need a number of different applications working together. We have a number of assessment applications which allow us to assess the potential for performance improvement. We need to be able to understand what our blueprint for success is, what our strategy, as you were, so we can capture that here. But really, it's identifying potential improvement opportunities across all of the core processes. As well as that, we need to be able to develop, train, track, support, coach the people that are going to be responsible for implementing those activities, just as you would with Six Sigma black belts, for example. But these Kaizen champions are often just as skilled at building digital applications as they are in terms of process mapping. Then the routines, of course, in terms of being able to monitor and track the weekly, monthly, quarterly reviews, and of course, having a mechanism for tracking, capturing, and sharing the best practices. But right at the core, of course, as we identify those improvement opportunities and we have them scheduled in, they typically fall into one of two camps. One is quick wins that can be implemented quickly, simply, without a lot of budget. But then we have our major improvement initiatives, and these can vary from the quick Kaizen continuous improvement right the way through to the full digital transformation. So we need that suite of applications off the shelf, but often configured for the individual client. Importantly, this platform needs to be able to run not only on a PC, as we see here, but also users need to be able to operate on the device of their choosing. So it might be a tablet or a mobile phone. And they need to be able to operate offline. In most of the major plants around the world, we would have thought that the internet permeates everywhere, but in reality, in sensitive organizations, actually the internet is turned down because it would affect the running the lines. So people need to be able to operate on their mobile phones, and that way they can update their projects, update their risks or issues as they're on the train going home or on a flight somewhere.
Yeah, and it's a fully secure platform, right?
Yeah, the underlying technology is enterprise quality, so it can be locked down to any particular standard. It can operate either in isolation or integrated with the digital systems, enterprise systems that exist within the organization. It's importantly, it can be set up so not only can users within the organization then update improvement initiatives, but also suppliers and customers can log in a secure way and update the data. So yes, it's a modern web application platform that can pretty much be configured around any digital process. As we look at an example here, we can see just a list of perhaps the improvement initiatives. Some will be large, some will be small. We can then capture the project charter or project initiation document, whatever you call it, in a simple way. For users that are not used to the system, they can click on the information button and it will just let them tell them more information about this particular process, what's expected of them, when it's expected. And if they need to run in their own language, they can just switch to a language of their choosing. Obviously, Coca-Cola in Japan would run in Japanese, but Honda in Europe would run across the same platform, would be run in 14 different languages, for example. So everybody can work together, everybody can see and share other people's ideas and best practices. And that way we're replicating not only the process across different sites, but we're also multiplying the benefits for the organization enormously. Capturing that information is obviously very important, and be able to see this very quickly and simply on a report is key. But the way we look at that data is also going to be important in terms of giving us those insights we need to help to drive the improvement program. And here we just see a couple of simple examples, perhaps a return on investment, but also a Monte Carlo profile that gives us an idea of the overall transformation program and the anticipated benefits. So yes, off-the-shelf applications, specifically for Kaizen, there's a portfolio of about 20 applications there that form part of the overall deployment, but always configured to reflect the local client ways of working, client processes, and managed by the client team, so full ownership within the overall program.
Yeah, this looks extremely impactful, and not only that, it actually can be embedded into any company's DNA and keep the processes evolving, seamlessly and even in the most lean manners possible. So here, the IT support, the deployment, how long does it take to take one company to do that? If I were to buy this right now, when can I start using it?
And so I think the answer to that could be as short as one day. If the off-the-shelf applications are fit for purpose in terms of your business and the way you operate, then within a day, the site can be up and running. It's a secure, dedicated site. The app's copied across, teams set up, users invited, and we're up and running. In reality, that's not how it works, but from a technical perspective, that is what's possible. The thing that takes time is just reviewing each of the applications in turn and just getting agreement from internal stakeholders, say that this is actually fit for purpose in terms of what we do. That might take a day for each of the applications. So we've got a couple of weeks to configure the solution and get it up and running. And then it's really just a question of how fast can we get teams on board. If there is an existing improvement or transformation program ongoing with an existing methodology, then that time can be accelerated. So within a couple of months, then the whole program can be up and running on the new platform. And that would include importing historic data. So we're not starting with a blank piece of paper. We're starting with configured applications, which are secure and scalable, but with the data that reflects all the great work that's been done so far.
All right. Okay. So that's even like you can integrate even with your existing systems without any delay then, right? Because then there's just a case of APIs.
Well, integration is an interesting question because if we are replacing an Excel-based system, then we would import that data as a one-off activity at the beginning, and then effectively the Excel disappears. So everybody just works straight on the SoftTools Kaizen platform. In terms of integration, what integration is required? So integrating with products like SAP, nowadays, yeah, as you suggest, very, very quick and simple using APIs. How quick can those APIs set up? Well, they take perhaps 1 to 2 hours to actually set up. It's just having the need to access the right internal IT resource that can link to the internal system.
That's amazing to hear. I think this is something, an extremely scalable a product, and I think a lot of companies that you work with and have partnered with SoftTools are using Kaizen process.
So I think every organization we work with has an improvement program, and they might call it different things. The more the culture is based on continuous improvement and Kaizen, then they are organizations who have been doing this for many, many years. It's built into their DNA, built into their culture. And we tend to see more of that in the East, so certainly in countries like Japan, but it's also popular on the back of Lean Six Sigma programs in the West and countries such as the USA, for example. Yes, it all depends on where the client has come from, what their background is. But right now, everybody also is then throwing into the mix this whole concept of digital or technology-led transformation, almost as if they're two completely different things. And this is a bit of a concern, because if we suddenly throw ourselves into transformation, but we forget the cultural principles, the discipline, the rigor, the methods that we've developed in Kaizen, then that transformation program is often short-lived, and that same organization then be restarting their program in perhaps 12 to 18 months time. So we are seeing this combination, this coming together of the methodology, the thinking of Kaizen with the need to use emerging technology to enable us to transform and leapfrog our competition.
That sounds great. So this is going to make digital transformation even more sustainable with time, as and when people adopt more of this particular mindset of continuous improvement and also, apply it into their business processes. This is amazing. Thank you so much. And it has been such an honor to hear from you about such a significant product that you guys have been making. Thank you so much.
Great. Thanks.